Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. Okay, here you go. What's the difference between conspiracy theory and fact? About 6 months. Yesterday we wound up hearing from the IG, Inspector General, that the FBI had 26 assets. Let's just use that because they're debating over what they want to call them. But people that were under FBI guidance. And how are you going to describe these guys? Whether they were confidential informants or whether they were actually FBI employees, but we don't know that. They're not telling us that detail. But 26 people that were associated with the FBI were at January 6th, mingling in the crowd, right? And for years, for 4 years, we've all been saying, not just the prepper community, but society in general, that J6 was just a complete setup. And now it sure seems to be what we've all said is coming true, right? Yeah. The conspiracy theories, as they're called, are just people using common sense that if it doesn't look right, it probably isn't. Ironically, the same day, or actually the day before this report came out, Christopher Wray resigns. The Patriot Front, another one of these, these are the guys that run around in their masks and ball caps and tan pants and, kind of look like they are neo-Nazis running around pretending to be conservatives. We've said forever they're feds, okay? They disbanded. And then all of a sudden, this IG report comes out. What's the difference between conspiracy theory and fact? In that case, I guess about 4 years. Okay. So let's go into another conspiracy theory. And the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Unless, of course, you're the post office. So let's take a look at all these drones. Yesterday, we've now found that there are drones flying over Connecticut. So we now have drones over Jersey. We have drones over Connecticut. We've got the potential for drones over Philadelphia. Anybody have any idea what all those things, the proximity is? What they're close to? That would be New York City. So let's go back to 9/11. And however you want to explain this, okay, whether it was actual terrorism, whether it was an inside job by the CIA, whatever, okay, that's immaterial here, but either one could go into this, conspiracy theory or fact. If you were going to commit any sort of act of violence on a massive scale, the first thing you would, of course, do is prepare, research, gather intel, okay? Kind of what militaries do, right? It's, we're going to go to Berlin in World War II. How are we going to get there? Oh, we might have come up with a plan. We might have looked at a map. We might have figured things out ahead of time, right? Done some research, gathered some intel. And it wasn't just right at downtown Berlin, okay? They looked all through France. They looked all through Germany. How are we going to get there? Where the roads are, where the towns are, what the topography was, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You think that maybe the same thing would be going on with these drones? I mean, nobody apparently knows. Come on, even the federal government is saying, oh, they're not Iran's, but we don't know whose they are. Well, how do you know they're not Iran's if you don't know whose they are? Right? Okay. oh, they're not causing any, doing any damage. How do you know that? What are they actually doing? So let's start putting puzzle pieces together, all right? Again, we would look at the surveillance by these drones, whatever their information they're gathering. Our federal government can't figure that out. Then we take a look at who are some of the most technologically superior countries, agencies, groups, whatever, that could feasibly be doing this. Oh, I don't know. The Chinese, maybe the Russians. They have some serious drone capability. The Russians are using drones in Ukraine. The Chinese, hell, is basically where they're all built, okay? We could even look at Iran, who Jeff Van Drew said was the culprit behind this before, of course, the State Department said, oh, it's not Iran, right? But Iran has 2 naval vessels that are specifically designed to launch drones. Okay, they look like miniature aircraft carriers, basically. They're former merchant ships that have been converted to launch drones and then have them come back. Okay. Amazing how all this is going on. But then let's add the next part. Let's say it's the southern border, right? We've had illegals crossing the border for how many years now? I mean, probably in droves, pretty close to the last 4, right? And everybody kind of stereotypically says, well, it's a bunch of Mexicans coming across. No, they're coming across from practically every country in the world, all right? There's no question. Hell, we even have Biden flying them in on purpose. Hey, you don't have to make that whole trek. We'll just show up at the airport, we'll put you on a plane, and we'll fly you in directly. Free, on us. The American taxpayer is more than willing to pay for it. Right, okay. Well, let's take a look at this. The majority of those people, what are they doing? They're coming in, they are military-age males. Oh, well, those are the people that want to go get jobs. Right, okay, because women don't want to work. 40-year-old people don't want to work. No, those 20-somethings, those are the ones that need to be here. So who is it? And what's going on? Well, let's take a look at something. Yesterday, it was reported that the amount of illegals in the country now, that already have deportation orders in hand is about 1.4 million people, including about 38,000 Chinese, 2,600 Iranian, 7,700 Pakistani, 22,000 Venezuelans. I don't know. But let's just say 38,000 illegal Chinese, most of them military-age males. We have drones flying over New York. It's funny how these drones aren't surveilling Omaha, Nebraska. I guess they're not looking at our latest farming techniques, right? What are they looking at? And then we have all these military-age illegals in the shadows with deportation orders in hand that haven't left. Are you getting an idea of what it could possibly be? Remember, we had a Chinese spy balloon go across the country about a year or so ago. That was Chinese. We didn't do anything about it until finally it was back out over the Atlantic after coming in from the Pacific. So after crossing the entire country, after sending all the data back that it could have possibly gathered, then we decided it was a good time to shoot it down. Okay. So now, logically, Who is the culprit here? Well, it's part of the new axis of evil, the China, Iran, North Korea, Russia. Chances are really, really good that that's who it is. Not saying guaranteed. I don't have any inside information. I'm just trying to use logic and common sense, something that is scarcely found in Washington. So what's the plan? Gee, how can we get something into New York City? That would be my guess. We could look at the Northern Passage. We could look at the western side of the city. How do we want to do this? Well, let's go surveil. Let's go gather intel. Let's go do that. Right? Because the way foreign adversaries make a mark, get attention, is go after New York. My guess is that's what this is about. Do I have any proof? No. But the more information that keeps coming out, where these are coming, again, they're not flying them over Maine. You know, Connecticut and Jersey. How much sooner do we get in? What's next? Don't know. The U.S. government doesn't know, or if they do, they're afraid to tell us, because if they do tell us, that's going to just show their incompetence. Could the situation be, Joe, we're going to fly drones, we're going to do some surveillance. Just ignore it. Here's a check that we can go deposit in your offshore bank account. Don't worry about it. Your kids will be taken care of. We know you won't be here much longer. So, you know, after you escape the country to avoid prosecution, come January 2025, here you'll have something. That's a stretch, but just think about it for a second. What are they actually going after? Who should be worried? If you're in Jersey, if you're in Connecticut, and you're in New York, eyes open, head on a swivel. This ain't good, no matter how you slice it. And not getting answers from our own government tells you how incompetent and how crooked they are. The most advanced country in the world, the richest country in the world, where most technology in the world has been invented, and we can't figure out who the hell's flying drones over us. We can't figure out how to jam a radio frequency. We can't figure out how to shoot them down. I mean, there's video yesterday of a drone chasing a helicopter, not the other way around. The drone chasing the helicopter, right? We can't figure this out. Lead from behind. This administration is more tuck your tail between your legs and run away. January 20th can't come fast enough. Pinball out.